Hey guys, so thought I'd make a quick update video on the news that's been circling in the last day or two. Of course, the news is broken today that Kevin Mitchell has retired. A bit of a shame, especially from my perspective. I thought he was a class act in the lightweight division. Superb technical boxer, offensive minded. Of course, he did have defensive frailties. Not having the best chin, I'd say his chin is European level at best, and he could be caught with the odd big punch. I mean, it's hard to say what his best performance was. He had the Johansson fight, really good fight. He did get caught there. Uh, British Prescott was another big win for him against a big puncher. Um, I mean, Daniel Estrada was almost punch perfect performance. He struggled against Maduma the fight before and couldn't get the IBF mandatory, which may have taken down the Linares route, which was also a great fight. I mean, it's hard to say if the prior demons for Mitchell have caught up with him. It's it would be a shame if that was the case, which he does say it has it did affect him massively. And I mean, I think the Linares fight almost took everything he had out of him. I mean, it's tough to say, especially after watching it. Big card, big show, 20,000 sold out. O2. I'd say that was probably the best chance he would have got to win a world title. I mean, he was fit, raring to go. He could do the 12 rounds. He wasn't gassing. But with his defensive frailties, I mean, it was a tough ask. I mean, Linares is not a big puncher, but he has got respectable power, and I think it showed on the night. It was just a war of attrition. I think when Mitchell, fifth round, he knocked him down. I thought he should have taken him out. He was a bit too cautious for my liking, but that happens. I think it's a shame. Mitchell will definitely go down as one of the best Brits never to win a world title, but I hope he can stay on the rails. He said he's going into training and gym work with Tony Sims, so I do hope he stays on the rails and can be successful in this new chapter in his boxing career or after boxing career. Yeah, moving on. Anthony Joshua possibly fighting Charles Martin is another bit of interesting news. I mean, at this moment in time, it's a big mistake to put in AJ with Martin. I think he hasn't fought any southpaws. That's one negative for AJ. I mean, if you compare him to heavyweight prospect Joseph Parker's been in with a southpaw in his most recent fight. Yes, he did struggle with Bergman, but definitely he's at least been in with him, and he's been able to work out the stance, and now he can do it with training partners and sparring partners, etc. Whereas AJ's never been in with a southpaw. He's never been in with someone as big as Martin with decent power. I wouldn't say Martin sets the world alight in terms of punching power. I mean, Glaskov, wrecked his knee or wrecked his leg. So I mean, I can't really take anything from uh, Martin fighting Glaskov and winning the title. I mean, essentially won the title on default. So it's tough to say. But I mean, at this stage, if you throw him in, especially and he wins, which is there is a big possibility that he might win. Uh, the IBF rankings aren't too generous. I mean, he could fight the bottom feeders. Maybe Chisora, I think is number 14 in the IBF rankings. So you could fight maybe the bottom three, but there seems to be a Hellenius in there. I mean, Hellenius is not a great fighter. I wouldn't say he's an elite fighter. He's a good solid fighter, but you never know. Unbeaten record, and people say he's he's a good fighter and stuff like that. So Hellenius is there. Joseph Parker's in there. Takam is in there. Takam's a tough fight for anyone. Um, there's a lot of fighters there that I think he could potentially struggle with. At least three or four that he may struggle with. Styles make fights, of course, and we have to wait and see on AJ's part. So we'll see what happens for April 9th. I think Eddie Hearn said the next couple of days he'll announce the opponent, but I hope it's not Martin, just for the sake of his future opponents. You don't want to damage someone who has pay-per-view quality, pay-per-view star quality on your roster and your stable, and just throw it to pieces. You don't want a David Price version 2 or anything like that. Not saying that AJ is like anything like David Price, but you never know. This is boxing, and heavyweight boxing. One punch can change it all. So it is it is touch and go with AJ. People say he's ready. People say he's not. But I guess we will have to wait and see. And I think if the Martin offer is there and he pays him enough money, he will come over and it will be on the card. That is a stacked card, so Martin will be making sizable money as it is anyway, and so will AJ. So we'll see in due time. In the next few days, we'll see who AJ's next opponent is. And who is it? Shannon Briggs. Let's go, champ. But yeah, he's been calling out David Haye today. I think it was on Instagram. And yeah, I mean, Briggs is just so past it, it's unbelievable. I mean, the last few opponents he's been facing are just awful. Like, so I'm just switching at my phone. Yeah, they're just absolutely awful. I mean, like the guy he faced in Panama, and then he called out Guillermo Jones, the guy who was on PEDs and wrecked Lebedev's eye in their WBA cruiserweight title fight. He's moved up to heavyweight now. He was calling him out. It's embarrassing from Briggs. I mean, he goes, I've been in the best shape now than I've ever been in, and this, that, and the other. It's a joke. It's ridiculous. I cannot see how anyone could take him seriously. I mean, he's a former world heavyweight champion and a lineal champion, so I understand it from that perspective. But just now, he's what, 40, 42, 43. But it's just it's terrible. I don't, and I'm guessing the money he wants is extortionate to come over. I mean, I can't see him being Hayes' next opponent. I mean, Hayes self-promoted. He's not going to be able to afford a Briggs to even pay him over £1 million. I think if it's more likely Malik Scott, who's going to come over, who's his most likely rumoured opponent, then Malik Scott's not even going to get close to a million. He's going to get closer to the £500,000 mark. So it's tough. I mean, is Briggs in it for a payday? Most likely. He's been calling out the bigger names, of course, the infamous run-ins with Vladimir Klitschko and Deontay Wilder have amused us all. But he is a character. David Haye's a character, and make for some amazing stuff in the press conferences and the build-up. But I just can't see it happening. I think Briggs will end up fighting some American for bigger money. I don't think he'll fight a contender, but you never know. He could even fight Charles Martin if Charles Martin doesn't fight Joshua or Wilder. I mean, there's always the American possibilities that he'll stay over there and make some big money over there. So it's always a guessing game with in regards to opponents. Malik Scott, obviously, I don't think he'd be a big bother to Haye. I think he won't last more than 4 or 5 rounds. Haymaker punches too hard. I mean, when you're getting knocked out by guys, they're not big punches at heavyweight. I mean, as I said, heavyweight boxing just involves one punch. It takes one punch to change it all. But I mean, um, people punch, and their records suggest they're not punchers. Have knocked Scott out. I mean, you have Wilder, and people say he took a dive against Wilder, but that's a different argument for a different video and a different day. But No, Malik Scott, I think he'll get obliterated by David Haye. I think David Haye is just too quick, too strong, hits too hard. I mean, is a really, really good boxer, but you know, is he better than David Haye? I think David Haye's boxing ability is underrated at times, just because he punches so hard. He relies a lot on speed and lateral movement, of course, but since he's put on the extra weight, you never know. He might be more intelligent with Shane McGuigan in his corner. So it's just a guessing game. So uh, we'll see with all this news. Gutted for Kevin Mitchell. I wish him all the best. He was a superb fighter, and I didn't want to see him go out on a defeat like the Barroso defeat. But you know that's just life, and I think maybe it's the best that he hangs up his gloves. AJ will find out in a few days, and Shannon Briggs, Malik Scott, and David Haye love triangle. We'll see what happens with that. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys soon and subscribe. Peace.